All right, welcome. Parshas Chayasora. Likutey Moharan, second Chelek, Ter Aleph, Tikkun Mimshala. We're holding by Seif Hey. The quest is to be able to connect to Shorish Nishmas Yisrael that will enable us to withstand the jealousy of the Malachim. Yes.
Talking about the jealousy of Malachim, but so many times we pray to angels or ask angels to intercede or to help us. How do those things jive? The fact that we also have a positive connection to angels in terms of the full.
You ask a good question. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I don't know specifically that's the answer. I know that it is a fact that they say you're not supposed to, one is not supposed to mention the name of angels that whose name is not like a person's name. Like Michael, you can say because there are people who are called named Michael. Same thing with Gabriel. Same thing with Raphael. But then there are, a whole plethora of malachim that have names that people are not giving these names. And the person is not supposed to mention these names because when a person mentions the name of a malach, it summons that malach. And when a person summons a malach and it is found out that it was in vain. In other words, he just mentions the name, just out of the name, but it's not like, they said Chofetz Chaim used to, send Allah on various errands that he knew that they need to perform. So when the Malach realizes that he was summoned, just you press it like it was a pocket dial, on the phone. You just mention the name of the Malach and it came. So that Malach avenges that person. Person can be Chas v'Chalila, can be hurt. There is obviously interaction between people and Malachim. Malachim Rachamim, bring about, Machin say Tefillah, the Malachim that usher in the Tefillahs, bringing out Tefillah, and so forth and so on, whatever. I'm not exactly sure how this jives with this meaning of Kinnis Malachim. What Malachim are can be used, what Malachim are, I'm not sure. It's a good question, but I don't know.
Don't we have the two malachim that are always with us?
Right, but this is
taking Edut, and that's what we say on
almost a Shabbos, right? On Shabbos, yes.
Send them away, we send them away.
Yeah, it's okay. So, I mean, there's obviously an interaction with malachim. You see that malachim, there are malachim that whose job is to advocate for a person. Then you have malachim whose job is to prosecute the person, to find faults with him. How does this fit into the scheme of things of Kiddush Malachim? I have no idea. I don't know. I just know that that's reality. That's the fact. Moshe, please mute yourself. Okay?
What?
Mute yourself.
Oh,
Press
yeah,
mute.
I'm trying to, yeah.
Okay. So, anyhow, so we are holding by Seif Hey. We said that when a person has perfect Yerushalayim, Pchinis Yerushalayim, he's able to see who it is a dependable conduit to holding in the root of Nishmas Yisrael to get this protection from the Malachim, and which are actually mefarsamim through azus, through boldness, because they're bold, they're ambitious, so they take the authority into their own hands. By the way, this shir tonight is dedicated to the neshama of Eliyahu ben, I think it's Amos or Kamos ben Tzion and Fortuna, who passed away yesterday. A friend of mine for many years. You know Eliyahu Mirav? Do you know who he is? Okay. So he passed away yesterday. Yeah. So very choshev yid. You can talk a little bit. Anyhow. So, but in order for the heart to be able to feel who is somebody that I can follow and know that he's the right Rav for me, the right conduit, someone I can connect to, as opposed to somebody who is, he just wants to have more seats filled in his gallery. You have to have this year shalom. The problem with this year is that the year is being twisted and corrupted by the three taivas of food, of money, and of women. And this is what we said. So we said this is through the three Yom Tovim that Shavuos fixes Taivas Noshim. He says it because the in of dam becomes milk. Shavuos we eat machecholov. We explained that the inyan of Taivas Noshim comes from when the blood of a person is not purified. When there is gashmias in the blood of a person. By the way, there's a Likutey Moharan that says that a person needs to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The certain, I don't remember which problem come from that from bloods that a person did not serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu with. In other words, a person needs to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu with every single drop of his blood. The din of Taivas Noshim is, we know that blood is associated with women, and when a woman becomes expecting, and when she is feeding the baby, as long as she's feeding the baby, there is no blood, because the blood, the source of the blood becomes, goes to produce the milk. As Chazal says, dam nekar v'nas lacholov. So we see that the in of damim, of blood, in is associated with isha, which is taivas noshim, and the tikkun for that is dam nekar. The blood becomes rectified and becomes milk, cholov, which is white. And being that Shavuos is the Yom Tov where Taivas Noshim is rectified, that's why on Shavuos we eat ma'achecholov, dairy food, because that's the essence of that particular Yom Tov.
Milk.
Yeah, it's from blood becomes milk. So, in Pesach we said that the Taivas Momen is being rectified because the Mitzrayim wanted the Jews to take money, and they didn't want, so they forced the Jews to borrow money from them. It's like and it's very interesting that the Medrash uses this. I think Rashi brings it. What is the reason that the Jewish people did not want the Egyptian gold when they left Mitzrayim? So the Medrash says, imagine a person who is in jail. Now we're not talking about today's jail, but the jail of all those years ago, 2,000 years ago, whatever, where chances are that the person will never get out alive. Every day the person survived it was a miracle.
Why is that? How is that?
Because whatever food they got, I don't know. The pictures that of prisoners tied up with their hands up, shackled to the wall, or whatever it is, and no sanitation, no. I mean, it's you get the idea of what it means, put somebody in jail and throw away the key, kind of. So the Medrash says that if a person is in jail, and somebody tells him, listen, we're going to let you out tomorrow, and when you go out, we'll give you a great deal of money. So the Medrash says a person would say, let me out today and keep the money. Because who knows if you're going to make it to tomorrow. So it's very interesting. And this is the moshel that he gives. What is it negia? He said maybe some people will say, okay, all right, I'll stay another day. I survived this long, just let me stay another day, But the Indian is, or the Indian feels Shema that we said about the das that Yerushalayim gives. Das shows a person what is the tachlis of this world. It is those types of mammon and eating and women that makes a person forget what is the reason that he is alone. He gets clouded. His judgment gets cloudy. And he says, I have a little, more to eat, or something is a little more gourmet, or whatever it is, or I'll speak, or I'll watch, I'll see things that I shouldn't be seeing, or whatever it is, and I'll go after money, maybe fake a little bit, maybe whatever it is, demand something which isn't mine simply because I want it, or even something that is more in a suffix. It's like you don't steal money. A person doesn't steal money from anyone, but he is totally focused on making a lot of money. Like, what's wrong? Give him what's stuck. Somebody's supposed to be rich. Why not me? It's like these things cloud the judgment of a person, and they hide from him. The Mitzias is that a person gets born into this world, and then a person gets born into the next world. And the same way that the person that gets born into this world cannot have extraneous and unnecessary additions while he's an embryo, because that means that the person is born, let's say, with, I don't know, 6 fingers, 6 digits in every hand, or whatever it is, or some kind of a deformity, whatever the chas v'chalila, and all that. In other words, just what is necessary, no more, no less. Then he comes to this life, Baruch Hashem, well formed and everything else. The same way, when a person leaves this world and goes to Olam Haba, A person should not have excess baggage on him. I wasn't even talking about Averis. Said that Reb Meir, before he passed away, he had a bunch of vegetables, greens left. And he said upon himself the pasuk, Chelam ozvul acherim. Their wealth they left to others. A bunch of greens. Because they say that when a person goes into let me see if I can sort of like fix the angle a little bit. Okay. When a person leaves this world, where is he going? He's going to Olam Habo. He's going to, to get closer to Kodesh Baruch Hu than it's altogether possible, obviously, in this world. This world is supposed to hide, to get, Kodesh Baruch Hu, to give a person choice. So when a person, a person goes through this world through a mass of gashmias in food, in taivas, in excesses, whatever it is. Then when a person goes, to Olam Habo, these unnecessary things need to be burnt off. That's the reason for the river of fire. And how do you know? The person toils, anybody, all even tzaddikim, everybody toils that. The point is that tzaddikim, when they go through it, they feel no, it doesn't make them suffer in any way, shape, or form. The more a person is steeped in gashmias, or the more, a person has excess baggage. So Chazal give it an example that the shepherd leads sheep through a brook, through rivers. Now the sheep that are full with wool, what happens? They get soaked up. They soak up the water. They become so heavy, they can't cross the river. It's a known thing. But if the sheep is shorn, then it's no problem. He doesn't absorb the water. He can just come across. The same thing when a person is filled with gashmias, a lot of food, all kinds of money, a lot of money, and so forth and so on. You can't get into a realm which is completely spiritual without this excess being burnt off. It's not a punishment. Because Baruch Hu gives you a bracha, but so that you can do a lot of, you can't get through life without money. And when you have a lot of money, you can, tremendously good things. Now the thing is that people are normal. Okay, so what I'm saying normal is that very, very few people are on the level of the Baal Shem Tov, that a penny would not stay by him overnight. Very few people, there was a tzaddik, I think, in Hungary, that used to feed the poor people in his town every single week. And his parnasa was a cow. In those days, people had cows, had chickens, had cows. But from the cow, you milk the cow and sell the milk, and this is how, they would sustain themselves. And 1 week he didn't have food for the poor people, so he went ahead and he shechted his cow and distributed the meat to the poor people in town. Now that takes some bitochen, doesn't it? To slaughter his source of parnasa and give it to poor people. That's Shai Kerastir is very famous from that. You know, that he kept on feeding people all the time. Doesn't matter. He has, he doesn't have. Reb Shai Kerastir. Reb Shai Kerastir is a very famous Hungarian tzaddik.
Hungarian?
Baruch Hashem, there was there is in Williamsburg. There's a few such establishments. One of them is that the bottom floor is anyway, it comes, stays, sleeps, eats, whatever, you know. So one Meshulach came from Eretz Yisrael, and he came and he went. They told him to go to this address, and he stayed there, and he didn't speak to anybody. He didn't get permission from anyone. And after a week, he really felt bad. So he went to a person over there and said, "Listen, I really don't know what to do. You know, I'm here already for a week. I never asked anybody for permission to stay here. Who should I talk to?" So that person happened to have been the Baal Habayis. So he said to him, "Don't worry about it. It's the same thing with me. You know, I didn't ask permission from anyone. I'm still over there. Don't worry about it." It's just, there's such people, you know. It's like you can see, you know, soup kitchens in everywhere. There's a sorghum everywhere. Now the thing is that unless somebody is, you know, a tzaddik niflo, like, you know, the Baal Shem Tov or whatever, I don't know, you know, what level you need, but a person needs extra money to be able to do great acts of chesed, unless he's very well refined. You know, there's in Uman, Baruch Hashem, we have Shiner and his partner. Now, the thing is that Baruch Hashem, when they started giving out the food, their business, from what I have heard, their business was like a $10 million business. And they started feeding people.
$10 million?
That's the amount of money that business. Yeah. In the very beginning, when it started. No. This is what their business was. I don't know what, you know, what 10 million is. What 10 million doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, but anyhow, supposedly it's over $1 billion bills today. But
his business?
Yeah, his business. No, his business.
Oh.
Now the thing is that Uman doesn't cost him $1 billion. It costs $3 million or $4 million. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it. But the thing is that. So a friend of my son's, who was a very good friend of his, of the Shiner and the Sparrow, who knows them very, very well, said that they have businesses like nursing homes in quite a few states in America.
Business? Nursing homes?
Yeah.
China?
And you know, a few states basically defaulted on money that they had to give him. Now we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars.
Who defaulted?
States.
The state?
Various states in America. I don't know, Michigan, Wisconsin, whatever it is. Yeah, because, you know, people are insured. Okay, you know, the Social Security, whatever it is. It's a whole. So the states, they had to give him the money that was coming to him. Them, not him. Give them the money that was given to him. given to them, did not pass it along. So as a result, they got into very deep financial problems. So they said that one of the partners said, we really have to rethink the tzedakah projects that we do. I mean, we can't afford it. So one says, what about maybe, we stop the Uman project, just be charged for it. I don't know what so the other partner said, if you don't want to do it, I'll do it on my own. And the friend of theirs, who was my son's friend, a very good friend of both these partners, he said to that partner, he says, you're going to cut off the food for the people who come to Uman Rosh Hashanah? He told him, I know you. He says, you're very talented, businessman, whatever it is. He says, but you're a wild animal. I know you. You're a wild animal. He says, I dare you. Go ahead, touch the feeding project in Uman. I dare you. Go ahead. Obviously, they didn't touch it. But the point is that you have to understand that being that particular partner is a normal human being. He's very talented, he's very ambitious, he's very brash, he's very forceful, whatever it is. But the point is, if he wouldn't be making, I don't know, $10 million, $100 million, $1 billion, I don't know how much. I mean, he won't be able to give out, I don't know, $3 or $4 or $5 million, whatever it is that they're giving out. He just won't be able. I mean, first of all, you see that the minute that they had, he had some kind of a problem, he says, okay, I mean, maybe we curtail that. So there is obviously a cheshbon that when do you have too much money, then it's good for you. If a person needs to give tzedakah, and that particular product is extremely important, and the only way that person emotionally, mentally can bring himself to carry such a yoke, such a load, is if he's making a boatload of money and he's flying private planes or whatever. I don't know what otherwise he wouldn't be able to do it. Everybody has his, up to, feeling, okay, now I feel secure, now I feel safe, okay, I don't mind. See, a person does not become rich. They say, okay, I don't need it, you take it. That's not the way. People become rich and says, I take, you, maybe yes, maybe not. Obviously, Birkas Hashem is tasher, but the thing is that usually the keli of wealthy people is greed, ambition, whatever. That's that calling. Now, is this considered extra? Is this not considered extra? I don't know Cheshbon Hashemayim. I know, for instance, that Rav Steinman used to eat, I don't know, for some kind of a porridge, whatever. And so somebody once put a little sugar in it because it had no taste. Put a little sugar in it. So Steinman, quote unquote, freaked out and says, what is this? So a person says, put a little sugar in it. A little taste. Someone says, what about chibut kever? The body has to go, is being put in the kever. The body has, all the gashmis, all the extraneous food that a person ate, whatever it is, it has to be beaten out of the body before the neshama can. So and everything has a price. So when a person is narrowly focused on what is the tachlis, the tachlis is to go through this world to do the ultimate with whatever you're given here. so that you can be born to Olam Haba with the minimum baggage, extraneous baggage. This is like the muscle that they say about Pesach. They said, we're going to let you out tomorrow. I'm going to give you money. Now, that person, that Moshe, that Chazal give the Moshe, says, let me out today. Don't give me anything. In other words, he keeps his mind on what's the main thing is me getting out of here, out of jail, not making money. By tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen by tomorrow? What get me? In other words, he keeps his eye on the ball. He keeps his eye on what is important. This is Pinas Das. So that's why Pesach, in Mitzrayim, they had to force the Jews to take the money, because taking the money means that they're burdened with it. Maybe they cannot go fast enough, or whatever the reasons might be. I mean, it says that they were Masakin Taivas Moment. What does it mean? They didn't want any moment. You know that Korach had a lot of money. You know, he took one of the stashes that Yosef Atzadik put together, and there were many people that were very, very wealthy. The point is that it was not wealth that was generated by greed, because they came out of Mitzrayim. Taivas Moment was rectified. So, and then with Sefer Sukkos is the Midas Taivas Achila. Sukkos fixes Taivas Achila, which is why Dafka Sukkos. Sukkos is the time of reaping whatever person's, the crops. And it's normal for when a person has, with the plate is full, you don't feel that hungry. No problem. You can eat whenever you want. So eat a little bit. If a person has no food, he puts it in quickly, and it's like eat when you get a chance, because you don't know when the next time you're going to hear it. Whatever, the Chazal said that a dog, they said that the digestive system of a dog is a lot slower than that of a human being. It takes, like they said, it takes 3 days for the food to completely pass through the system of the dog. Because why? Because the dogs, we're talking about stray dogs, obviously, of those days. Their food was not always available. But did the favor with the dogs so that that the food will last longer, because you never know when the next meal will come. But the way you can see it in nature, many times. There are certain animals that eat, once in a month. Once, snakes do that, whatever, once a month, whatever it is, or certain animals drink like, I don't know, a couple times a year, and that's actually such animals. Whatever it is, according to, but the animals is, whenever it is you get a chance, this is when you consume it. So on Sukkot, that's the time of the reaping of the crops. Then it's the natural tendency of a person not to be so hung on eating that much. You'll have food whenever you want it. Don't stuff yourself. You'll feel full. You won't be able to, whatever, get GERD, whatever the case may be. This stems from the fact that Sukkot is the time when Taivas Achila is being fixed. So the outside circumstances also play into that situation. The Zeb Chinas, it says about the 250 heads of Sanhedrin that were in the Machlokes of Korah Moshe. Krua Moed Anshe. We're talking about here, what are we trying to do? We're trying to connect to the true leaders of Am Yisrael. So how does the Torah call them? Kru'ei Moed, those who are summoned to occasion. Moed is also, Moyadim. That's Yom Tov, right? Anshe Shem. Before we said the 3 these three taivas is corresponds to the three Yom Tov and Shlosha Regalim. So this already explains Anshe Moed. Anshe Shem, now that it says it's not just a Moed, this is also Anshe Shem. What is the Shem doing here? Anshe Shem, the people of name, people of repute, people of known, of reputation. Ze B'china Shalosh Midas. Shekol Echad Ve'echad Nikra B'B'chinas Shem. Each one of these times, these midos, these traits, is called a name. It has a reputation. Moment, kmo shekosuv, b'chol mokom she'azkir et shmi avo lecha v'lachticha. Every place where I will, when a person, al pipshat means every place that you're allowed to mention the name of Hashem, which is Beis Hamikdash, I will come to you, I will bless you. The Shefa comes from the Beis Hamikdash. That gives you the inkling that bracha is B'chinas Shem, a name. And this is the union of money. Now take a look. Money, food, and women, beauty, whatever. You have fame that has to do with money. Everybody knows who the richest person on earth is, right? There's a magazine in America that makes a list. What the richest person on earth? Yes, you have the 500, you have the 50, you have the this, you have the that. What does it make if a person has $1 billion or $100 billion or $1 trillion? You never be able to spend it one way. But it's a shame. It's a pride. It's a taiva. Anshe Shem, people that of note, of reputation. So, and we know that money is called bracha. He says, I'll come to you and I'll bless you. That the blessing of Hashem is the thing that makes a person rich. So we know now that money is an aspect of Shem, an aspect of reputation, of fame. Achila, food, is also B'chinas Shem Moshe Kosuv, v'kara Shem beBeslechem. They call the name in Beslechem. So see that Beslechem is the house of bread, has fame. How many Michelin stars did this particular restaurant have, right? You know, what's the best restaurant for Delhi or whatever it is, people go nuts. I mean, they have bottles of wine that cost tens of thousands of dollars. Can you imagine $10,000 for a bottle of wine? Comes the question, what good is this wine? If you drink it, you don't have it. If you have it, you don't drink it. So what are you going to do with it? What's the point of having it? It's a shame. It's a name. It's a fame. So you see, the achila is B'chinas Shem. Beslechem. Mishgos, B'chinas Noshim is also, he says about, Gilles Esther, about all the maidens that came to the palace of Achashverosh, that every maiden would come and she would be called V'lo tavo l'melech, and you would not repeat, you would not come again to the Melech. Kim Chovetz Ba'amelech, that the king actually wanted her. V'nikra b'shem, and she was called a name. She was known in a name. Very interesting. Who is famous? Somebody whose name, the very famous one have one name, wasn't it, basketball player? Michael Jordan, right? So it's Michael. His name is Michael, you already know. The very, very famous one, just one name, that's it. LeBron, okay? LeBron, Messi, that one name, everybody knows already. One name, you don't have to go, this particular day, place for this, whatever. a name, like a. In fact, the more famous something is, the less you have to add adjectives to it. For instance, a person asks another person, "What car do you drive?" So he says, remember years ago, it used to be Buick LeBron. Remember that? There was a purple LeBron or whatever, or Cadillac Seville or whatever it is. So you say like a Ford Bronco or Chevrolet Camaro, okay? But if that person drives a Rolls Royce, says, "What car do you drive?" You won't say, Rolls Royce, Silver Shadow, whatever it is. What do you drive? A Rolls Royce. Oh, a Rolls. What do you drive? A Lamborghini. Yeah, but what model? When you get to be that famous, when you have that kind of shame, you don't need those petty things. What kind of model? Ferrari Testarossa or whatever. I drive a Ferrari. That's enough. It's famous enough. You don't have to get into petty details. But you're talking about Toyota. What kind of Toyota? It's a Camry. You need to go in and say, what kind of person you are. Yeah. But once it reaches that shame, it's rarefied air. The same thing is with embarrassment. When a person is being caught in this world red-handed, even in English, the name is shame, right? The person is shamed. What does it mean that he's shamed? It means that there is a spotlight on him. V'nikra b'shem. He has a name. Bill Clinton. Everybody. The spotlight is on him. So you see that some people.
What is the type of car? Is that money?
Well, it depends, but in America specifically, in America they use possessions or job titles as describing what they have achieved in their life. When I say that I drive a Buick, it means that I'm a Buick. I achieved the level of driving a Buick. If I buy a Jaguar, I'm a Jaguar driver. I reached that. I raised myself into that. It's basically it's like rank in the army. In America, how much money you have? Same thing with with the Forbes list of richest people in the world.
I live in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, okay. In other words, what I've made out of myself. This is my self-worth. This is who I am. I identify as a. Yeah, it comes out of Taivas Mammon. The whole thing is seeing things from Mammon point of view.
Here in Israel, like people, they don't go after these fancy cars as much as in America, even if they have money.
Because America is Malchus a moment, as Rabbeinu says in the Maisim about Tefillah, the prayer master. Malchus a moment, the kingdom of money. That's the entire world is like, but specifically in America, that's I have an acquaintance that they're very wealthy, and in Yerushalayim, there's a meaning that the people that have money don't flaunt it at all. Especially at all. And he, this is doing some business. He went to America, buying some properties, some real estate properties, whatever it is. And he told me, he went to Miami Beach, whatever it is, all these places. And he said that, people that have yachts. And these are people that have less money than him. It's like,
In Israel, they don't flaunt the money as much.
Well, depends where. When they're closest or to the American state of mind, then they're floating also. But I said, but the closer they are to sanity, the closer they are to Torah, the less they flaunt it. But nevertheless, we're talking about Anshe Shem, means that a person has a name in money, has a name in food, has a name in Tavas Noshim, who is the star, who is the this, who's the that, whatever, is famous. That yira in the heart is also B'chinas Shem, B'chinas the yiras Hashem anichbod. You have to have a yira from Hashem anichbod. Yira is B'chinas Shem. The B'chinas kremoyed anshe Shem. The ones who are summoned, moyed, anshe Shem, the people of Shem, the people of yira, people of that the Yir Shemaim is it says Yas David Shem, that David made a name in Bethlehem. David the Melech was a king in Bethlehem for 7 years before he was crowned on the entire Am Yisrael, and went over to Yerushalayim. So it says he made a name. Name is Prinas Malchus. Malchus is Yira. We have quite a few places. Malchus is the thing that ilmale morah shel Malchus. If it wasn't for the fear, Malchus says that person should always daven, for the well-being of the powers that be. He says ilmale morah shel Malchus. If people didn't fear retributions from the law, from the police, from whatever it is they would swallow each other alive. That you can see in the countries that when the Malchus is shaky, people just devour one another. So, that you have to likrois esam others. You have to summon the moyadas. You have to bring in the moyadas. These the 3 yomim tovim. The sakin shalosh midas. In other words, the idea is that you want to rectify these 3 midas. Shem b'chinas anshe Shem. In other words, with this, when you utilize the Yom Tovim properly, you the avodas, the mitzvahs. They said that Reb Nosson, towards the when he was older, he wasn't well. He had some gastrointestinal problems. And he was very makpid on sukkahs, that the sukkah will be like really well built, so the winds wouldn't come in, whatever it is. It was so one time when he was in on sukkahs, his sukkah was not properly constructed. So Reb Nachman Tulchina, his Talmud, worked very, very hard at Yom Tov, and he made his sukkah like really solid and well and windproof. And by the evening, he was exhausted. And he told him, listen, he says, when you work hard to construct the sukkah, you taste a very different taste in sukkah. So, and Nosson told him, imagine what kind of time sukkah you would have if you call out the Kodesh Baruch Hu with all your might to be zecher to taste the time sukkah. Both either working or calling out for it means achanas, means preparing yourself, getting yourself ready. That's why it's a very, very good habit. Look at the tefillas are the tefillas for everything. I got myself a compilation. It's called Likutey Moharan II, to the times of year. So what they did was that they compiled Likutey tefillas, for Elul, for Rosh Hashanah, for Sukkot, for Tzemach Tshuva, for Yom Kippur, for Hanukkah. For each one is so it's a good habit, to to say those tefillahs before now, Baruch Hashem, the next one is Hanukkah. You have to start talking about Hanukkah, to prepare. So when it comes in, you have the kalim to do the most of it and basically bring it in and not just go through it. It's everybody knows it's not easy. Tishrei is not an easy month. It's a lot of work. Even just getting yourself in it, if you're going to Uman or whatever it is, but the thing is that there's a lot involved. Then you have Rosh Hashanah, then you have Yom Kippur, then you have building the sukkah, then you have the sukkahs and the Dalad Minim, and the whole thing is that, by the time that sukkahs is over, Simchas Torah is over, it is a very common phenomena to be, quote unquote, Yom Tov out. It's like I'm spent, whatever it is. It's not an easy avodah, but the point is that the more kalim you build for it. It's not that you went through it. It's over. Not that. It's not that you passed it. It went into you. It enriched you. You became something else. You become Anshe Shem. The Yira has written about the day. Being Shalim, Tikkun Hashem Sayir Shabalev, Nivra Malach. So what we're trying to say over here is that we're not going to go on because this is the end of Seif Hey. The main thing, I want to talk a couple of words about Rav Eliyahu that passed away yesterday. Eliyahu Meirav. I don't know if you know about that. Was a friend of mine many years, and I met him. I don't know. 78, 79, long time ago. And Baruch Hashem, it was a Elachiyid. I had quite a few stories with him. It was very special, very special, very special. There's one story that I remember the first years after they bought the house from the old lady of the Tzion. They bought the house. It was the house of the old woman who used to live there. I think it was before they bought the house. Before the house was bought by Chassidei Breslov, she still owned the house, and people that wanted to stay there for Shoshana, pay the money. And I remember that he stayed there. He slept basically on the Tzion. The Tzion is half inside the house, outside the house. So he slept in this room. And I remember that I asked my Rav, it's like, is that proper or is nothing proper? So he said, is he okay? Is he all right? I said, yeah. So the Psimcha said, Mr. Manichalai, so they're very happy with it. Fine. Problem with it. A person that, that I know that definitely the last couple of years, 2-3 years, he became, I don't remember how long ago, he became sick. And some years ago, he had an accident with his car, and he hurt his back, and he went through quite a lot of suffering. In the end, at least for a couple of years, whatever it is, he couldn't really walk anymore, and he was in a wheelchair. Yet he would, I don't know about Chatzos, but I know that every day, that's what I heard, somebody would come and take him, and he went to the mikveh of what's called the invalid mikveh, whatever you want to call it,
What?
of Bells. Bells has a special mikveh that has access for wheelchairs and stuff. So he would go there, and then he would go to shul with Am Vasikin, sit down, learn Torah. Now the thing is that I remember I tried calling him a couple of times, but he no longer answered the phone. He realized that he was on the runway for takeoff. Well, a few years before he passed away, he had no time for putzi mutzi, for flopping the gums with people. There's no time anymore. There's no. That's Yira Shalom. It's just like a focus. There's no time to sit around and shoot the breeze. Lamai said this is our struggle. This is what this thing is all about. Is that focus, that B'ezrat Hashem, b'zchus of Rabbeinu HaKadosh, the Koch Rabbeinu HaKadosh, B'ezrat Hashem, his neshama, B'ezrat Hashem will have an aliyah, and get tikkun by Rabbeinu HaKadosh. It is extremely, extremely important to understand. We said it once, we said it twice, we said it many times. Shaul HaMelech, King Shaul, was desperate. So he summoned the soul of Shmuel HaNovi with a woman, with a witch. And she summoned him, and he came, and with him came Moshe Rabbeinu. There's a whole give and take what happened between them, but let's not get into the story. The question is that it says, and then when they realized that this is so that the Medrash, I think the Gemara says, why did Moshe Rabbeinu come with him? It says because Shmuel HaNovi he wasn't aware that he was summoned he was called up by the doing of a witch, by witchcraft. He thought that he was being summoned for the great judgment day. And he was scared. So he asked Moshe Rabbeinu to come with him and testify that he kept the entire, that Moshe Shmuel HaNovi kept the entire Torah. Because the question, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't know. Why is Moshe Rabbeinu necessary to give testimony? The judgment day, everything is known. What do you need a testimony from Moshe Rabbeinu? You learn from this two things. First of all, by the end of the day, even Shmuel HaNovi needs Moshe Rabbeinu. Even as great as Shmuel HaNovi, you keep the entire Torah like Shmuel HaNovi. When it comes to the final judgment, you need the protection of Moshe Rabbeinu, or the tzaddikim of Rabbeinu. The second thing he teaches you that the protection of Moshe Rabbeinu helps, that it works. Because it protects you. Of Moshe Rabbeinu, you can survive. You can get through the final judgment day. How important it is every single day for a person to seek the tzaddik, to seek the Ruach HaKodesh of the tzaddik, to learn his Torahs, to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be zeicha to have the emunah tzaddikim. Rabbeinu said that when a person leaves this world, is extremely important that the person is close to a tzaddik. There's a sichas around it, a long sicha that we learned. A person doesn't know where he is many times. That's why it's a thing of Bresler Chassidim that when a person is before during the Levaya, before a person is a person is buried, they let him know. You should know that you passed away. Don't let anybody deceive you. And say that you want to go straight to Rabbeinu. And it says Rabbi Nachman ben Fege, so Rabbeinu, Nachman ben Bresler. Because there are many Nachmans over there. And the Rebbeinu says they'll fool you. The avenging angels will, whatever it is, all kinds of Gita Neshamalach that was spewed outside. That they will try to deceive you. All kinds of and Malach HaChabal is not
What?
Malach HaChabal avenging angels is not funny. Very not funny. Told the story, Nachum from Vitebsk. Okay, listen, I'm not going to take any more time or your valuable time. Nachum Mendel of Vitebsk. Rabbeinu says in Likutey Moharan, there's a story that they sent a messenger to Chutzlatz and he passed away on the ship. And he didn't realize that, that he passed away. And he thought that he was, going on business to, I don't know, to Leipzig or whatever it is. And he was with the people. Suddenly he felt this urge to go to his Rebbe. Now he had with him the secretary and a driver, whatever it is, the Olam Atoyo. They were actually Malach HaChabal. They were avenging angels. One acting as his secretary, and then the thing is that that can take years upon years upon years, and you don't realize. The only thing you realize is that you're having a bad day all the time. How can a person, get into it? Yeah. The hands of the Shindal,
People.
Yeah, they thought they were people. So he said he wants to go to his Rebbe. So they told him, come on, such a business opportunity once in a lifetime. Come on. I said, okay. And he says, no, I want to go to my Rebbe, Rabbi Hamel of Vitebsk. One of he was the greatest Talmud of the Maggid of Mizrich. Was the Rebbe of the Balatanya. And so he says, no, convince him, whatever. And then he said, no, I want to go to my Rebbe. So he was so insistent that they had no choice. They had to tell him that he already passed away. In that case, Bevada, he wants to go to his Rebbe. So they said, no, we don't want to take you. We're not going to take you. He said, what do you mean you don't want to take me? You work for me. I tell you what to do. The Shupaniva, himself, that they went to Beis Din Shel Mala. Beis Din Shel Mala said, you have to take him to his Rebbe. And when they came, they came to Ramach Mendel of Vitebsk, and one avenging angel, Malach HaChabal, went with him into the room of Nachum Mendel of Vitebsk. And when Nachum Mendel,
in the room for his Rebbe.
Yeah.
No.
He was a Talmud of Nachum Mendel of Vitebsk. He moved to Eretz Yisrael. It was after the Maggid already. That's so the avenging angel came with him into the room, and the Nachum Mendel of Vitebsk fainted when he saw the Malach HaChabal. A tzaddik like Nachum Mendel of Vitebsk saw Malach HaChabal and fainted. He fainted. from fright.
That maybe it's coming from me.
No, he came together with the neshama of his. He knew, what was it? It took him 8 days. I remember saying it took 8 days to fix the neshama of his chassid. But the first time he saw that, he fainted. It's not an easy thing. People, the people being kidnapped by Hamas is a scary thing for sure. But apparently, it's not even a drop compared to Malchus Kabbalah Shem Rachim. Kitzu, anybody at Seichel Yis Shemaim, Shoma Nafsha Yirchak, seek the tzaddik, make his way to this every day, learn Torah, and be b'simcha. Because without simcha, nothing works. That's the oil for the wheels. Like they said that the Kotzker Rebbe said that, he has one leg in Gan Eden and one leg in Gehenna. It's like one leg, a total simcha with the schos Baruch Hashem. Because ultimately, after everything is said and done, there's Gan Eden. There's goodness. But on the other hand, it's not a funny business. It's Shem Yazov Bezat Hashem should always at Hashem. Olam Hazeh, Olam Haba, at Hashem, good Shabbos. Call to Bezat Hashem. Call to.